All praise belongs to Allah, the one who controls what we fear, what we hope for, and what we do not understand. We seek His help, His protection, and His mercy. Peace and blessings be upon Muhammad, who taught us how to trust Allah completely while living in a world full of uncertainty. Why anxiety has become a silent epidemic. Anxiety today is everywhere. People wake up worried. They sleep exhausted. Their minds never rest. Not because they lack food or shelter, but because they lack trust. Anxiety is not always a medical condition. Often it is a spiritual imbalance. When reliance moves away from Allah, the heart collapses under the weight of control. What anxiety really is in the light of Islam. Anxiety is not simply fear. It is fear mixed with loss of trust. It grows when a person believes, I must control everything. If this fails, I am ruined. My safety depends on outcomes. But the Quran teaches something different. And whoever relies upon Allah, then He is sufficient for him. Quran 65:3. Anxiety begins where tawakkul ends. Tawakkul, the forgotten pillar of the heart. Tawakkul does not mean doing nothing. It means doing your best, then surrendering the result to Allah. True reliance means you plan but trust Allah. You try but depend on Allah. You fear but lean on Allah. Without tawakkul, the heart becomes its own god and collapses under pressure. Why modern life increases anxiety? Modern life teaches self-dependence, control, guarantees, certainty. But life has no guarantees. When the heart is trained to depend on systems, people, and predictions, it panics when they fail. Islam trains the heart to depend on Allah alone. That is freedom. The Quran addresses anxiety directly. Allah does not ignore fear. He heals it. So fear them not, but fear me. Quran 3:175. Fear cannot be removed. It can only be redirected. When fear of Allah fills the heart, fear of the future loses its power. Why anxiety is exhausting. Anxiety makes the heart live in tomorrow. What if? What will happen? What if I lose? But Allah says, no soul knows what it will earn tomorrow. Quran 31:34. Allah never asked you to carry tomorrow. He asked you to trust Him today. Tawakkul frees the heart from overthinking. Overthinking is when the mind runs ahead of faith. Tawakkul stops this cycle. Allah says, and Allah is gentle with His servants. Quran 42:19. A heart that truly believes this verse cannot remain anxious for long. The prophets and anxiety. Even prophets felt fear, but their fear never destroyed them. When Musa stood before the sea and the enemy, people panicked. He said, no. Indeed, with me is my Lord. He will guide me. Quran 26:62. This is tawakkul, not denial of danger, but certainty in Allah. Why anxiety disappears when tawakkul enters. Anxiety says, what if Allah doesn't help? Tawakkul says, Allah is already in control. An anxious heart asks, will I survive? A heart of tawakkul says, whatever happens is from Allah. Peace enters immediately. False reliance, a hidden cause of anxiety. Some people say they trust Allah, but rely emotionally on people, money, status, approval. When these collapse, anxiety explodes. True tawakkul requires cutting emotional dependence on creation. Allah says, is Allah not sufficient for a servant? Quran 39:36. This verse ends anxiety. Tawakkul does not cancel effort. Islam never taught laziness. The Prophet planned. He tied his camel. He took precautions. But his heart was never attached to results. Anxiety comes from effort without surrender. How tawakkul heals fear of loss. Loss terrifies anxious hearts. But Allah says, say, nothing will happen to us except what Allah has decreed for us. Quran 9:51. When this belief settles, loss loses its terror. You may feel pain, but not panic. Tawakkul and risk anxiety. Many people panic about provision. But Allah reminds, and in the heaven is your provision and what you are promised. Quran 51:22. Rizq is not hunted. It is written. Effort is worship. Worry is not. Nighttime anxiety and reliance on Allah. Anxiety grows in silence. At night, fears return. Allah invites the anxious heart. And, during the night, pray with it. Quran 17 hours 79 minutes. Night reliance heals what the day exhausts. Tawakkul during hardship. Tawakkul does not mean you won't cry. It means you won't break. Allah says, indeed, Allah is with those who rely upon Him. Quran 16:128. With Allah's presence, anxiety has no authority. How tawakkul changes emotional pain. Pain says, I can't handle this. Tawakkul says, Allah chose me because I can. Allah never burdens a soul beyond its capacity. A simple daily tawakkul practice. Morning. Hand your day to Allah verbally. During stress, say Hasbi Allahu la ilaha illa huwa. At night, release outcomes to Allah before sleeping. Consistency builds calm. The deepest truth about anxiety. Anxiety is the heart asking, who is in control? Tawakkul is the heart answering. Allah is. That is peace. Final reminder. You were never created to carry the weight of the world. You were created to trust the one who carries it. Anxiety fades where reliance begins. Closing dua. O Allah, remove anxiety from our hearts. Replace fear with trust. Teach us true reliance. And make us among those who depend on you completely. O Allah, do not leave us to ourselves even for a moment. Ameen. If this reminder benefited you, like the video, share it with someone struggling silently, and subscribe for more Qur'an-based reminders. Remember, you are not weak. You are just learning to rely on Allah.